Welcome. Thank you very much. First order of business is evacuation procedure. As we're not expecting any fire alarm, so any rings, real thing. So there's a location plan of the exits and the assembly points situated on the doors of this room. Please familiarise yourself with them. On discovering a fire, please carry out the following: sound the alarm, attack the fire if possible and safe to do so, and using the appliance provided. On hearing the evacuation signal, please carry out the following: exit the building by your nearest safest exit, which is either behind you or the way you came in. All visitors report to assembly point G in the car park over there, and all staff to report to their designated assembly point on the Walpack Way park. Do not leave the assembly point for any reason told to do so by the incident control or fire brigade officer. Because you've all been signed in and you're counted out, and if you're not there, then I'll come in and look for you. So that's what you all have to do. Right. We'll spin this out and try and make the most of it. First item of business. Election of mayor. Do I have a proposal? Councillor Jennings.
Thank you, Mayor.
Get a second and then you speak after that. And a seconder for that. Councillor Simmons. Excellent proposal, seconded off again.
Okay. Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to nominate my fellow Kingsbury member, Councillor Debbie Bates, as our mayor for the year. 12 months ago, I was happy to second Debbie, and I think the council made a really good choice in picking Debbie as our deputy mayor. I think there's no doubt, certainly no doubt in my mind, that she's done a fantastic job of supporting you as mayor and is representing the council in around the borough and around the country. We all receive a weekly email detailing the appointments of the mayor and the deputy mayor over the coming week. And I think I always open it and always read it. And anybody who did open it will have seen that almost, I think, a week after Debbie was appointed as deputy mayor, she was already picking up civic events and community events and being a really active deputy mayor. And that's continued throughout the entire period of her 12 months as deputy mayor. Last week, indeed, she was at in London at the Royal Garden Party. As it happens, Debbie's year as deputy mayor coincided with me being the deputy chair at the county council. I've got to say that looking at Debbie's civic engagements over the last 12 months compared with the ones that I had, she's put me totally to shame, and I feel either I should be hanging my head in shame or looking at Debbie in awe. Probably a bit of both. I asked Debbie recently what she found most enjoyable about being deputy mayor, and I wasn't at all surprised when she said that it had been meeting and working with community groups around the borough. Because after all, that's what he does in the days of that kind of thing. Our most memorable event, she tells me, was at the Albany Theatre in Coventry, where she was involved with dancing together with Parkinson's. Sounds like exactly the sort of thing that Debbie would really enjoy, really good at. Debbie's not the sort to shy away from a challenge of any kind, whether it's in work, in a personal and family life, or indeed here at the council. The last 2 years, she's been deputy chair and vice chair of Kingsbury Parish Council, and in that time, she hasn't been just that in name. She's been a really active vice chair, really supporting the chair and the council through a period of change and real challenge. With all she's got on her plate, it's perhaps not surprising that she sometimes forgets to attend our councillor surgery that we have every month, leaving me to deal with it on my own. But I don't blame her for that. But if I could just take this opportunity to remind you that the next one is in 2 weeks' time. I think you've already told me you can't make that. I first got to know Debbie right at the start of the COVID period, when she was the leading light and, in fact, the driving force behind a local COVID support group called Kingsbury Good Neighbours. That did all the things that you would expect of any COVID group, collecting people's prescriptions, keeping in touch with people who were living alone, delivering shopping, which also did a great deal more. It launched a village newsletter to keep the whole community engaged. It found funds for laptops for children at the local schools so that they could carry on with their education when they weren't in the classroom. It organised Easter egg runs later on, and Christmas hampers for people. And 5 years later, that Good Neighbours group is still going strong. It provides wrapped Christmas presents for families that are in financial hardship. It puts up poppies at Remembrance Time, and recently it's put up signs to commemorate VE Day. Especially Debbie works as a social worker. She's a registered social worker, but she's head of operations at a community organisation in Birmingham. It's a very demanding job. As I say, she manages to fit all that in alongside the council work. She's lived in the borough for 20 years, raised 3 children here, and she joined this council in 2023. At the same time, she joined Kingsbury Parish Council, and we immediately made a vice chair, which she's been ever since. And when I think of the term community spirit, it's people like Debbie who immediately come to my mind. Last year I said that I felt that community service runs through Debbie's part of the DNA. I still feel that now. I have absolutely no hesitation in recommending you to you as our chair, as our mayor this year. Thank you.
Come on, Sim, do you want to do anything?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I couldn't say any more really than Councillor Jones just said there around our proposal for Debbie to be mayor for this year. She is absolutely the epitome of all those values that you hold dear, and everything that Andy said I couldn't agree with more. Community runs through her veins, and she's been an absolute fabulously wonderful deputy mayor to our mayor this year. I've been at a few things where she's attended, and she has great presence and a great empathy with people and a great understanding of what people in the community want from her too. So I think I don't think there's anything else for me to say really, other than I'm happy to second the proposal.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for the role of mayor for the coming year? They're not being. Can I put that to the vote, please? All in. Oh, does anyone else want to speak? Anyone else want briefly? Anyone else want to say anything? In which case, we will go to the vote. All those in favour of Debbie Bates as mayor for the coming year? Any against? Any abstentions?
Abstention. Sorry, just to say purely because it's our first time in the chamber,
Understood.
and without understanding the background, everybody here, it's better just to abstain from this one.
Absolutely understood.
Thanks.
Right. Votes carried. Councillor Debbie Bates, you are now mayor. And you have to sign something and say something, and I have to disappear.
So I, Debbie Bates, long glasses, having been elected to the office of Mayor of North Warwickshire Borough Council declare that I take this office upon myself and will duly and forthfully fulfil the duties of it accordingly to the best of my judgment and ability.
We will retire and I will appear as an ex-mayor. and Debbie will appear as the mayor. All right, please.
Thank you. What would you like to do this time out from the handmade? You've seen so much in reading. Thank you. So, first and foremost, I would like to thank both Councillor Andy Jones and Caroline Simmons for their nomination and their very kind words. This does mean a great deal, alongside everyone who has voted for me this evening. I would also like to acknowledge and thank our previous mayor, Councillor Colin Hayfield, who has not only done some amazing work during his time as mayor, but also supported me in my role as deputy mayor through sharing his knowledge, experience and guidance. He has clearly left some big shoes to fill in chairing our full council meetings and representing North Warwickshire Borough Council during his term. Thank you, Colin. If you'd have told me a few years ago that I would have the privilege of serving local members of our community as a borough and parish councillor for Kingsborough, I would have thought you'd gone mad. Yet, here I am. Not only doing my best to represent the amazing community which I live in, but also now having the privilege to represent North Warwickshire Borough Council as mayor. I came into this role following COVID-19, whereby I wanted to step forward to support my local community and make a difference at a local level. During my time as deputy mayor, I have had the absolute privilege of attending numerous events, including several civic services, local charity fundraising evenings, Armed Forces Day celebration with the Birmingham International Tattoo, Dancing Together with Parkinson's community celebration, and the annual memorial service to remember those who have tragically lost their lives or have had change and injuries on our roads, to name but a few. And have had the honour of being supported by my daughter, Chloe, who has attended many of these events with me in her role as Deputy Mayor Consort. Thank you. Last week, I also attended the King's Royal Garden Party at Buckingham Palace with my son Daniel, whereby we had the opportunity to meet so many inspiring individuals who have dedicated their valuable time and commitment to local causes and their communities. A very special day which will stay with me for many years to come. As I'm sure you've all gathered by now, I am extremely passionate about communities and local issues, both in my professional capacity, where I work with a team of amazing people at a grassroots community organisation, and also in my role as councillor for Kingsborough, and hope to use this term to not only build on the foundations of being deputy mayor, but to also showcase the amazing contributions all of our local groups and organisations make across our borough, and would ask all fellow councillors to support me to achieve this through sharing local knowledge and invitations to community groups or events to show how amazing our borough is across North Warwickshire. It will be an honour to serve as mayor and to be supported this year by my oldest daughter, Eloise, who is also celebrating her birthday today. When trying to decide on my chosen charity for the year ahead, I have found this extremely difficult. Initially, I wanted to raise money for a cancer charity, which is very close to my heart due to my mother passing away aged 38, and my father, who is currently recovering from throat cancer and is unable to attend this evening. However, I could not find a local charity and can only find national cancer charities, which were not specifically located in North Warwickshire, which did not align with my wish to make a little difference at a local level. I've therefore decided to raise money for the amazing local community hubs and spaces who do incredible work within all of our communities. And again, would ask fellow councillors to support me through recommending venues, making donations of course, and participating in events across North Warwickshire to achieve this. Thank you all. I will do my utmost best and look forward to working alongside this year's Deputy Mayor in representing North Warwickshire. So I'd like to present some badges now to the retiring Mayor.
I'll take the minutes.
Pardon?
I'll take the minutes. Just stand. Just post the photograph. Yeah, sure. Awesome. Oh, I'll just say thank you.
For your merit. Colin, would you like to make some?
Miss the opportunity, couldn't I? First of all, congratulations to Devon on her new role. I feel bereft now that the weight of responsibility and indeed respectability has been lifted from me. It can take many months to feel comfortable wearing the chain, and particularly the robes. And just as you do, you have to hand them over to somebody else. Well, to me anyhow. But I'm resigned, even looking forward to the anonymity of the back benches once again, there to let my eyelids grow heavy as the usual banter and badinage of the council meetings play out around me. The role of mayor actually is far less onerous these days than before, certainly pre-COVID. I might have averaged one engagement a week, some months, and less in other months. And when I look back, most of the engagements I attended were supporting other mayors with their own civic functions. You know, you go to mine, I'll come to yours, etc., etc. But there were far less local requests in North Warwickshire for the mayor to attend. But those that I did were fun. The Easter bonnet competition at Linden Lodge and the impressive Spud Club at Water Autumn. Really good fun. Being chauffeured around to events in a posh car, that was a treat too. And seamless cars who undertook the task proved courteous and efficient, and I thank them and their drivers. Debbie was great as my deputy and undertook quite a few engagements on my behalf without complaint. And was, I know, well received, and she will, I'm sure, be a credit to this authority. My highlights were the civic service in Shuster, which proved well attended by visiting civic heads and locals, although perhaps less well attended by councillors, as has been the case in past years. With the help of staff here, I ran a very successful local history day. There's only one more in Merivale Hall, which was intended to bring together local history groups across North Warwickshire and surrounding areas. And I also attended some notable local history events, Polesworth, Councillor Waffles, and good fun there, and at Manchester. Overall, I have been privileged to visit places that I would not otherwise have visited, and have met many lovely people who I would not otherwise have met. But this is not my night, it's Debbie's, and it's therefore time I wound up. But in doing so, I thank you, Kirsty and Victoria, who have managed me with great patience and kindness over the last year as mayor, putting up with poor Victoria, putting up with innumerable phone calls. What day did I have to be there? What, you know, and repeating timetables and dress codes to me for the umpteenth time. And although you haven't met her here tonight, thanks to my friend and consort, Mrs. Denise Owen, who demonstrated similar virtues of patience with me and would accompany me to most of my official engagements. She is always elegant and always far more sociable than me. So thank you all for your support. That's it, I've got.
Thank you very much, Colin. Is there anybody else who would like to say something?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Before I talk about the past mayor, I'd like to genuinely offer my sincere congratulations. I'm looking forward to hearing all about your new role and how you support it. I'd say, Madam Mayor and fellow councillors, it hardly feels like a year since I last stood up to talk about Colin being mayor. Time passes quickly. I have to say, during that evening, I spent most of my time earnestly wishing that Colin would be committed. And he has been committed. He has been a diligent mayor and has worked hard for all of us. You spoke earlier on about the people who support him having a great virtue of patience. I have never been patient with Colin. I've never even had the desire to be patient with Colin. Although his eccentric method of chairing some meetings, if I had had that desire, would have caused me to lose it rapidly. Colin has worked very hard as mayor, and Denise Owen, as his consort, has worked equally hard. They have both been a great credit to the borough, and genuinely, thank you. Thank you for what you did, for representing us as well as you both did. There are many things that mayors have to do. Some are pleasant, some are less pleasant. I'm sure Colin would agree that during his period as mayor, no buffet was safe. We may see that again later on, Madam Mayor. The heritage event at Melville was excellent. And I know a number of people were here, but to shine a spotlight on heritage and the tireless and often thankless work that a lot of people do to preserve and protect and develop our heritage more was extremely welcome. And it was a really very pleasant half-day event. The civic service, I think also, Colin, you mentioned, was excellent. First civic service I've been to in a pub, or at least it was a pub after it, I remember that. I missed the great opportunity to see you in an Easter bonnet, but perhaps that was a good thing. Members, Colin has, as I said, been very committed. He worked 24 hours a day. He was an incredible day-long man. A day there and a night there. Colin, really, you did a great job. I think we are all proud of you. And thank you for what you and Denise did for us. Another very successful mayor, followed, I'm sure, by yet another successful mayor for North Warwickshire. But well done.
Anybody else like to say anything? Okay, so we now move on to item 3 on the agenda. So apologies for absence mayor members away on official council business.
We've had apologies from Councillor Jackson.
Thank you.
Oops.
Thank you for apologies for Councillor Farrell.
Thank you.
She wasn't able to come because of an emergency.
Thank you. Item 4, declaration of personal or prejudicial interest. Do we have any? Anybody? Okay. Item 5, I'd like to move in accordance with the standing orders number 6 that the minutes of the extraordinary council meeting held on the 17th of March 2025 be approved as a correct record.
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. All those in favour? Thank you. So item 6 is to appoint the deputy mayor for the borough for the coming year. Deputy mayor, are there any nominations for deputy mayor?
I would like to nominate fellow Dordon Independent Councillor Davina Ridley.
Thank you. Is that seconded?
I'll second that, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations? Would you like to speak, Councillor?
I would like to propose Councillor Davina Ridley as Deputy Mayor for the forthcoming year. I've known Davina for the past 12 years when she moved back home to Dordon from London. She was born in North Warwickshire and her family have lived in and around the Dordon area and North Warwickshire for over 175 years, where Davina still lives in Dordon. Davina is married to Steve and they have 5 children between them. Davina only left North Warwickshire to join Metropolitan Police in 1982. This was because she was half an inch too short to join Warwickshire Police. She was told by the sergeant at Aberston Police Station to go away and grow another ½ inch. Unfortunately, she still remains that ½ inch short at 5'6". But whilst in the Met, Davina saw firsthand the suffering of various sections of society and the very best and very worst of mankind. She set up a domestic violence unit, ran a child protection unit, and spent 10 years on the Scotland Yard murder team. During this service, she saw how decisions made at a national, but most importantly, local level can affect residents, friends, neighbours, and community in general. As one of the first Met family liaison officers, Davina saw how violent crime directly impacted not only in the immediate families, but on the communities as a whole. Davina served for 30 years and returned home in 2012 to North Warwickshire and Dordon. Whilst running her own business, she became a carer for her elderly parents. A Dordon Parish Councillor, a member of the North Warwickshire Heritage Forum, a member of the WI, and a trustee for North Warwickshire Citizens Advice Bureau. And one of the very first members of the Stute Club in Browns Lane, Dordon, which was an achievement in itself. Since Davina returned to Dordon, I have personally witnessed her drive and commitment to her community. She is incredibly proud of the North Warwickshire roots and does everything she can to improve and promote not only Dordon but the borough as well. She has, in my opinion, all the attributes and skills required to make an excellent deputy mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just to say, it gives me great pleasure to second Councillor Ridley as Deputy Mayor. Councillor Amelia said it all, I think. I am confident that, Davina will make a fantastic deputy to you, Madam Mayor, and wish both of you all the best for the ensuing year.
Thank you, Councillor Wright. Does anybody else wish to say anything?
I couldn't say anything. Madam Mayor, what an excellent potential choice for Deputy Mayor. Our first story. And I'm sure she is going to be if she's going to be a tenth as good as your deputy as she is a human being, she will be incredibly successful. It was interesting I didn't know half those things about Davina that Councillor Melia said. I know in London they have Pearly Kings and Pearly Queens, but they're going to have a Pearly Mayor, Pearly Deputy Mayor. There are lots and lots of positive attributes that Davina has in the time she's been with council that she has shown all of us. Her charm is legendary. Her biscuit generosity, even trying to persuade Councillor Humphreys to eat fruit rather than all the biscuits that she provides. I'm just looking so forward to it. The biggest of her attributes is her charm. And being mayor, deputy mayor, you need charm. She's got it in abundance. I am so looking forward to your year, Madam Mayor, and if elected, your first year, Madam Deputy Mayor.
She's a feeder.
You're an eater.
We'll get on well then. Does anybody else have anything or wish to speak? No, okay. So
Oh, sorry, I forgot to say the other thing was, not only has she got all that charm, she's a planning geek. What more could you ask for?
okay, thank you. So we've had a nomination and seconded. All those in favour? Anybody against? Any abstained? Thank you. Okay, I would therefore like to declare Councillor Davina Ridley, Deputy Mayor of North Warwickshire Council. You'd like to come forward? Absolutely.
That's it.
I, Davina Mary Ridley, having been elected to the office of Deputy Mayor of North Warwickshire Borough Council, declare that I take that office upon myself and will duly and faithfully fulfil the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability.
Congratulations and welcome. Would you, anything you would like to say? Well, everybody looks very different from this side. I'd like to thank everybody for voting for me, for Byron for nominating me. I am truly honoured. I really do feel quite emotional about this. My career has been one of service, and it's something I think that flows within you. And so many people sitting in this chamber have obviously got the same DNA, because you are all here serving. No matter what opinions you hold, you're all here to do that one thing, and that's to serve your community. And thank you all very much for doing that. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to working with Mayor Debbie Bates very much.
And I did have a quick sneak at the back of the room. And there have been a lot of lady mayors over the years, a lot of distinguished people are there with their photographs. But there hasn't been a mayor and a deputy mayor, both female, sort of sitting up here. So let's hear it for the girl.
Is there any further announcements anybody would like to say? So we move on to item agenda number 8 now, to receive the returning officers' report upon the Borough Council by-elections. Everybody should have had hopefully had a copy of that. Yes, have you got a copy? I've received a copy. Lovely. So I also take the opportunity to welcome our 2 new councillors. Welcome to North Warwickshire Borough Council, Councillor Watson and Councillor Gilmont. I hope I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I'm not right, not wrong. I'm not pronouncing it wrong. Well, welcome. Welcome to the chamber. So, if I could move the report to be noted, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All those in favour? Anybody against? Anybody abstained? Thank you. Okay, moving on to agenda number 9, to decide in accordance with standing orders number 23.2, the number of members on each of the following boards for the current year. So everybody, we put A, B and C together within section 9. Everybody should have had a copy of that. A final set of nominations were also put out on the tables. Do I have a proposer?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move the recommendation as printed. And while I do so, can I thank particularly Sophia and our Chief Exec for the exceptional amount of time it took in working out the percentages, etc., for the board membership that spent the bank holiday weekend, or most of the bank holiday weekend, working on those. But it's obviously it's political balance. It's made it slightly easier, I have to say, having our newly elected reform members forming a group with those numbers. So move the report as printed with the nominations that have been circulated.
Thank you. Is that seconded by anybody? Thank you. So can we put it to a vote? All those in favour? That's unanimous. Thank you. So we now move on to item agenda number 10, to authorise the Chief Executive in accordance with Article 13.5 of the Articles of Constitution to sign and seal on behalf of the Council any orders, deeds and documents necessary to give effect to any resolution of the Council, including any past during part of the meeting, which is held in private. Do I have anybody to propose? Thank you, Councillor Fowler. Second. Thank you, Councillor Meyer. Anybody? All those in favour? All right, I'll get there eventually. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Item number 11 is the exclusion of the public and press. I move to exclude the public and press as set out in the agenda. Is there a seconder for that?
Yeah.
Thank you. All those in favour? Anybody? No, unanimous, thank you.